The car stays parked even though the grocery bags are already on the passenger seat. Rain taps the windshield in small. Patient knocks, and he keeps turning a silver ring like it might answer him back. You can almost hear the thought he will not say, "If I speak, I could lose her." At home, your phone lights up for everything except him. The silence starts inventing meanings, and your chest wants to sprint ahead of the facts. "I hate that I do this." Later, the room goes dim, and the only steady thing is the glow of a digital clock. He types one sentence in his notes app, reads it, then deletes it like it burned his thumb. He is not looking for a clever line. He is testing whether the unpolished truth will cost him love. Sometimes, real love begins exactly here, not with a declaration, but with a small risk offered quietly. And the question underneath it, will you still respect me if I am real? The grocery store parking lot smells like wet asphalt and warm bread through a paper bag. He sits in the driver's seat with the key already in the ignition. But the car does not start. Rain keeps its soft metronome on the glass, and his thumb turns a silver ring again and again. If you were beside him, you would notice how he keeps inhaling like he is about to speak, then deciding not to. His shoulders hold a tension that does not match the ordinary errands of a Tuesday at 617. His eyes are forward, but his attention is somewhere inward, like he is standing at the edge of a room he has never entered before. Inside him, the sentence forms and fractures. If I say it out loud, everything becomes real. Not just the feelings, but the consequences, the responsibility, the way love asks you to be seen in daylight and not only in text bubbles. This is the part most women never get to witness. You only see the gap, the delayed reply, the quiet stretch that feels like distance, and your mind rushes to protect you by calling it a sign. But sometimes the pause is not a verdict about your worth. It is a man measuring whether he can offer something honest without losing dignity. His hand pauses on the ring, and there is a second where it looks like he might finally start the car and drive away from the whole problem. Then he stays. He sits with the fear long enough to let it soften, and that tiny choice matters more than any perfect line he could send. Night makes the living room feel smaller, like the walls have leaned in to listen. The TV stays off, and the only bright thing is the digital clock, numbers steady and cold. On his phone screen, a blank page waits like a dare. He opens notes, not messages. He types, "I messed up," then deletes it. He types, "I do not always know how to say what I feel," then stares at the words like they are too intimate to exist. His thumb hovers, and you can picture the second guessing that takes over. If I admit this, she will see me differently. If I do not, she will think I do not care. On your side of the world, you feel the gap and you want to fill it with noise. I almost text. I do not. The silence is loud enough that you start bargaining with yourself. Just one little check-in. Just something normal. But what is happening in that quiet room is not a performance problem. It is selective vulnerability. A small, deliberate leak of truth instead of a flood. He is trying to find the size of honesty he can survive. This is where a trust probe shows up. Even if neither of you names it, he offers one imperfect edge. Not to impress you, but to see what you do with it. Will you turn it into a joke, a lecture, a punishment, a story you tell your friends? Or will you treat it like something living? He deletes the line again, then types it one last time. Shorter now, almost plain. The clock changes by 1 minute, and he swallows like he is stepping onto thin ice. Not because you are dangerous, but because he does not know yet what kind of room your love is. The video call connects, and his face appears in that cold blue light that makes even familiar features look distant. You are sitting cross-legged on your bed, charger cord stretched tight, the room smelling faintly like hand lotion and laundry. He asks how your day was, and his voice is normal, almost careful. Then you ask the question you have been carrying all week. What are you feeling about us? It is simple, but it lands like a spotlight, and you watch his eyes shift as if he is looking for a door that is not there. He goes quiet, not the casual quiet of thinking, but the heavy quiet where you can hear your own pulse in your ears. Your mind starts translating in self-defense. He is bored. He is drifting. He does not want me. You hold the phone a little tighter. Like grip could turn uncertainty into control. On his side, the silence has a different texture. His throat tightens, and he swallows once, slowly, like he is trying to make space for words that do not feel safe in his mouth. The truth is there, but it is tangled with shame, with fear of saying it wrong, with the old reflex to stay composed no matter what. And here is the gentle turn. Sometimes the pause is not a refusal. It is a man wrestling the part of him that learned feelings should be hidden to stay respected. Sometimes he is afraid that if he shows you the messy version, you will downgrade him in your mind and never look back. You see his hand move off screen, then return, and he finally says, "I do not know how to explain it yet, but I know it matters." It is not poetry. It is not a promise. It is a small human admission that says he is still in the conversation, even if his language is behind his heart. The bathroom is warm enough to blur the edges of everything. Steam fogs the mirror until the room looks like it has been softened on purpose. And the towel hangs crooked on the hook like someone gave up halfway. He stands there with his hands on the sink, listening to the drip that will not stop. He lifts his palm and wipes one clean streak down the glass. For a second, he can see his own eyes looking back, sharp against all that haze, and the sight makes him still. If she loves the real man, what is left for me to perform? This is where the anima comes in. In plain life, it is the part of him that wants to feel without being ridiculed, the part that wants tenderness without losing respect. When that part stirs, a man can look confident on the outside and feel like a beginner on the inside. You can almost watch the old armor try to snap back into place. He clears his throat. He adjusts the collar of his shirt. He looks away from himself like the mirror is asking too much. But the clean streak is still there, and it is quiet proof that something honest is trying to emerge. He thinks about you, not as a fantasy, but as a real person who might hear the truth and react like it matters. He is deciding whether the relationship is a stage where he must stay impressive, or a room where he can be human, and that decision will show up later in small ways, in what he admits, in what he avoids, and in how quickly he stops running from the parts he is afraid you will see. The diner is small and a little too bright, the kind of place where the menu is wrinkled from 100 hands and the napkin holder has a smear of ketchup that never quite gets cleaned. Outside the window, headlights slide past in slow lines. Between you, a ballpoint pen rests near the edge of the table like a tiny microphone. He asks, "How are you really doing with me?" Then he does something rare. He waits. No rushing to fill the silence. No joking to deflect. No quick compliment to change the subject. You feel the moment in your mouth. The way truth has a weight before it becomes sound. Part of you wants to be easy. Part of you wants to be honest. The pen does not move. And in that stillness, you can tell he is bracing himself to hear something real. One version of this scene is a trap. You answer carefully. He twists it into evidence against you. Or you answer honestly and he punishes you with distance. In that version, the diner feels colder, and you leave with the taste of regret, like you gave away something soft to someone who treated it like a problem. But there is another version, and it is quieter. You say, "I like you, and I also need steadier contact." Your voice does not shake, or maybe it does, but you do not apologize for needing what you need. He nods slowly, eyes on you, not on the door. He does not perform a grand fix. He asks one follow-up question, and you can hear the effort in it. "I want to understand, not only be loved." That sentence is not romance. It is work. This is what emotional safety looks like in real time. It is not perfect agreement. It is the way he stays in his seat when your truth arrives. The way he does not make your honesty something you have to pay for. The pen stays on the table, untouched. And for once, you do not feel like you are auditioning for basic care. Later, you think about that bathroom mirror, the way one clear streak cut through all the fog. You can almost feel the cool edge of the sink under your fingertips. The ordinary steadiness of porcelain. Clarity is not a mood. It is a practice. I notice many women can handle intensity, but they freeze when the intensity turns into something small and human. A pattern I keep seeing is that the real test is rarely a grand confession. Here's what tends to happen. He offers a tiny, unpolished truth, and the room changes. Then both people decide, in seconds, whether love is a place where something real can live. So, yes, meeting his unpolished truth with respect can change everything. But respect is not the same as disappearing yourself. Kindness does not mean you become the place he drops his confusion and walks away. There is a difference between a man saying, "I am scared," and a man using fear as a reason to give you nothing. There is a difference between a slow, honest process and an endless loop where you keep waiting for clarity that never arrives. Your softness is not an unlimited resource. If you need a boundary that does not sound like a script, let it be something simple you can feel in your body. Like the towel hanging crooked. You do not have to yank it straight for him. You can just notice it and decide what you are willing to live with. In plain language, it might sound like this inside your own head. I can meet honesty with warmth. I cannot build a relationship alone, and you do not have to say it like a threat. You just have to live it like a standard. Because the point of a trust probe is not to prove you are endlessly forgiving. The point is to see if love can be honest and still be respected on both sides. The next night, the living room looks the same, but the air feels different. The digital clock glows its steady numbers, and he opens notes again like he is returning to a wound he is not sure how to dress. He types a sentence that is almost tender, then deletes it and replaces it with something flat. This is where the shadow shows up. In plain life, it is the part that tries to protect him by sabotaging closeness. The impulse that says, "If this gets real, I could get hurt, so I should ruin it first." It can look like a joke at the wrong time, a sudden coldness, a small argument picked over nothing, or an unexplained delay right after a good moment. You feel it, too. That old panic that wants to chase the disappearing cursor. Your hand moves toward your phone, then stops. You remember the diner, the pen resting between you, the way steadiness felt like a quiet room you could breathe in. So instead of sending a dozen questions, you choose one clean line. and you choose it slowly. Not a demand, not a performance, just truth with a spine. You type, "I liked our conversation yesterday. I want more of that, and I need steadier follow-through." Then you set the phone down on the couch cushion and let the silence be what it is, not what your fear paints it into. If he is serious, he will not punish you for asking for clarity. If he is not, you will learn faster. Because you stopped cushioning the pattern with endless understanding. The clock keeps glowing either way. And for once you do not make the night smaller by chasing someone who keeps stepping back when the room gets real. Back at the diner, the table is still sticky in one small corner, and the menu is still wrinkled like it has survived 100 indecisions. The ballpoint pen sits between you again, and you notice how ordinary objects can become symbols when your heart is paying attention. This time, you are not waiting for a dramatic speech. He takes a breath and looks at the pen like it is a line he has to cross. Then he says the thing he usually edits out of himself. The awkward truth with no shine on it. "I get scared when it starts to matter, and I do not want to ruin it." You do not rush to fix him. You do not punish him for being human. You just let the sentence land, and you answer like someone who respects both of you. You say, "I can meet honesty with respect, and I need consistency." Not disappearing acts. Your voice is calm enough that it surprises you. This is the clean standard you can keep. Even when your feelings get loud, when he offers truth, you do not weaponize it. When he avoids clarity again and again, you do not keep giving him unlimited access to your tenderness. Because love is not proven by how intense the moment feels. It is proven by what happens after the moment. The next day, the next week. The small follow-through that makes your life feel calmer instead of chaotic. He reaches for the pen, not to sign a promise, but to scribble a reminder on the back of the receipt, like he is trying to become the kind of man who does not forget what matters. You watch his hand, the slight hesitation, and you realize you are watching effort, not charm. And you do something quietly brave. You let this be simple. You let your heart stay open without becoming an open door for confusion. When you walk out, the air is colder, and the neon sign hums behind you. But your chest feels clearer than it did before. The pen is still on the table. The menu still wrinkled. But you are different, because you stopped treating uncertainty like a sentence you must serve. Does this feel like depth or like dismissal?